Hello my ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. So I feel like I'm making up for lost time at the moment because, as I said in last night's video, I had a few days off, and thank you for everybody's kindness and well wishes. I'm a lot better, thank you. Luckily it was just a kind of a 48-hour thing. But I do feel like I'm catching up because the things that I've been showing you, like yesterday and particularly today's with this book, I've had this book for over a week. I got it on pre-order, so I saw this originally on Kelly's channel, Kelly at the Truth in Story, who incidentally also has the decks and box sets of books and cards, combinations of. I'm quite confused by them, but there's bestiary, crystalry, and there's a herbery one, and I don't have them, and they're quite hard to get actually in the UK. But this one, the Wild Wisdom Companion, was set for release at the end of November. So I just pre-ordered it. It wasn't that expensive, forgot all about it, and then a nice surprise, it arrived, like I say, just over a week ago, but this is the first opportunity I've had to even take a look at it. I was very excited to receive this book because it is stunning, and it really touches me in a way because of how much I appreciate nature, how much I love the Wheel of the Year. That's no surprise to anybody who's followed my channel for a while. You know, I have my seasonal altars. I love things even like Lunar Moon Hair, which is Luna's journey through the Wheel of the Year, and that's an ongoing series I'm doing for each Sabbat. I've got my Sabbat spell and magic kits. The Wheel of the Year is just something that I really appreciate. And whilst this book doesn't follow necessarily the kind of festivals associated with Sabbats, it does break down into seasons, and the seasons themselves, we have like early autumn, late autumn, early spring, late spring, etc. So it goes into like kind of 8 sections, which are very similar to the Sabbats of the Wheel of the Year. Maia is the creator of this deck, and the illustrations is by Kate O'Hara, who you might be familiar with. Her artwork is sublime. It's absolutely incredible. But the way that this book is put together is it goes through each section. It's presented beautifully, and then there's some cards at the back, which are kind of smaller art prints of the art that we find in the book, such as this for the seed. This is an actual oracle card. Now, it is an oracle deck because it's got 28 oracle cards, but the reason why I got this is A, for the book, but B, I want to use the cards as altar cards for my seasonal altars. So that was kind of my primary reason for wanting to get this. But can we just look at the beauty of this book and the artwork? I mean, it's so gorgeous. Everything about it is just wonderful. And even on the inside, I mean, just look how beautiful it is. So let's have a read of the back, and then I'll go through the book. I don't want this to be a long video. I will link Kelly's video below because she did a really brilliant in-depth walkthrough of the book. I think it's about 45 minutes, and I loved it, and that's what made me, without hesitation, hit pre-order on this book. So Kelly's video will be linked in the description below. It is hardback, as you can hear, and it says it retails for $24.95 US. I think I paid £16, which wasn't bad at all. These are the other decks that you can get: the herbery, bestiary, and crystalry. I think that's how you're saying them. So you can get the books, which again have these cards at the back, or you can get box sets. They've also got jigsaw puzzles. But if you're in the UK, they're quite difficult to get. But anyway, I was looking to see how many pages, 192, maybe 195 pages. But it is beautiful. And they've got these little flaps as well, so you can use it as a scrapbook, or maybe you can put, you know, early spring, some pressed flowers in, or things like that. So it's got so many functions, has this little kit here. So on the back, it says, what can change in a year? You. And isn't that true? You know, a year, I'm always amazed because every year I think, wow, Yule is here, you know, how quick was it from last year? It feels like I've just taken down the decorations and they're going up again. And the same with all the Sabbats. They come around every 6 to 8 weeks, don't they? And it flies by. But actually, a year is a long time in terms of our own personal growth and development. And we are completely different in many aspects of our personality and psyche each year as it passes, because we're constantly evolving, growing, developing, etc. Call on the wild wisdom of the natural world to feel in tune and at peace, season after season. Maia offers unique insights into the distinctive qualities and spirit of every stage of the year and shows you how to thrive during each one by drawing on the powers of herbs, animals, crystals, elements, and your body's own energy centers. And that's kind of the structure. So when you go into like early spring, there will be associations with a particular animal, a crystal, an energy point, so basically a chakra point, associated herbs, which really do link into earlier books as well. And then you get these seasonal symbols, which I'll show you about. Allow your own intuition and insights to reveal themselves, illuminating your truth and bring you into balance. And it says 28 stunning oracle cards to inspire your meditations. Again, you know, if I'm using this book, which I intend to, as I move through the wheel of the year, I don't necessarily want to pull an oracle card in a divinatory way if I'm in early spring and I'm pulling out late autumn. So for me, it is more about using the cards as we go through the wheel of the year as a meditation tool, and also as a nice kind of focal point for my sacred space. I've just noticed as well, these little elemental symbols in the corner. So on the front, Maia wisdom, wild wisdom companion, a guided journey into the mystical rhythms of the natural world, season by season. So let's take a look in. Let me make sure you can see everything okay on camera. Maia Wild Wisdom Companion. The quality of this book is fantastic. I've really, you know, with my ADD, I'm not a huge book person. I can't sit down and read a huge, you know, 500-page novel or something like that. Certainly struggle with academic books. But books like this that I can dip into throughout the year over and over again, these are my favourite type of books. And the ones I've been showing at the minute, like The Complete Grimoire, or things like Big Panda and Little Dragon, where you can just dip in and out, are just wonderful. I mean, again, the artwork by Kate O'Hara is stunning. Here we've got a representation of the seasons. We've got autumn. We've got autumn going into winter, going into spring, going into summer. It's just that cyclical motion of the wheel of the year, and it's just illustrated beautifully. Here it's just, you know, obviously the information page, the publishing information 2021. And then we get the dedication here that says this book is essentially about time. It was written, however, in a strange little eddy of history when time was flowing in none of the usual ways. During the spring of 2020, oh gosh, yes. Didn't time change completely in spring of 2020? as we were facing a global pandemic, time moved in neither a line or nor a circle, I should say. If it wasn't for the turning seasons outside my window, I would have truly been lost. Thank you to the earth and the sun for continuing to dance. And then she credits and gives thanks to Aunt Gloria. Yeah, and most of us could only look out of our windows, you know, when we was in complete lockdown. And I've always said, and it's something that's come with age actually, but for a number of years now, I've really appreciated living in a part of the world where we do, on the whole, and it's not always the case now with things like, you know, global warming, but on the whole, we do have 4 distinct seasons. I know when spring is coming, you know, and obviously when it's autumn and the leaves start to turn into that beautiful rusty, reddy brown colours and the air starts to get a little bit more crisp. I love winter. I love all the seasons. Yes, I have my favourite seasons, but I actually love being in a part of the world where we get those 4 seasons. And as I said, that's something I've come to appreciate over time, because when I was younger, I was a sun seeker, you know, and I used to get quite depressed when summer would end, you know, especially as a kid. Summer ends and it's back to school, and I never really enjoyed school that much with having ADD and things that wasn't diagnosed back then. I struggled. So, you know, it wasn't, and then you had Christmas to look forward to, but then after the lights and the sparkle and magic of Christmas, January and February are very long months, and I still struggle a little bit in those months. So following the wheel of the year really helped me with that as well, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So I love the way the contents page is laid out here. And we can see that we've got late autumn, and it breaks it down into the northern and southern hemispheres. So in the northern hemisphere, we're talking November to winter solstice. The southern hemisphere is May to winter solstice. So, you know, winter solstice in the southern hemisphere is different to when the winter solstice obviously is in the northern hemisphere. And it's cyclical. You can see the path, the trajectory that it's going in here. And then we go into early winter, late December to late January, late winter, early spring, early summer, late summer, early autumn. And I love it because this is a contents page, but you can see it laid out beautifully of what this book is exactly going to give you, which is how each of those 8 chunks, which I call kind of the sabbats, or many of us call the sabbats, but it's telling you how they're breaking them down. So the element for late autumn is water into earth. The energy or chakra point is the third eye. Your plant medicine is rosemary. Your animal medicine is turtle and tortoise. The crystal medicine is amber. And then those seasonal symbols, which will become your oracle cards. For late autumn, we've got the phoenix, the desert, and the void. And that's the same all the way through. And then we get where to find them in the book with the page numbers at the side. So I think that's a beautiful way to show the contents page. Oh, and I just love it. We've got the preface here. So scent, symbol, dance, and song, which revolve around the rhythms of light and dark, earth, sun, and moon, move us out of linear time into magical time. Weaving our joys and sorrow into this web renders our human experience holy and places it alongside the daily miracles of sunrise and sunset. And that's by Judith Berger, which is lovely. So then we have the preface here. I won't read it all. I just noticed something about Gaia here, and I got really excited as my eyes just skimmed across the page. But just reading this, at the age of 12, I wrote a note to myself that simply said, don't trade happiness for security. Wow, at the age of 12, that's quite profound. At the age of 33, after spending most of my adult life creating stability and structure for myself, my world unexpectedly unraveled. So yeah, so it's the story about how this book's come around. And what's this say about Gaia? I call it this. In my mind, the concept of animism sieged into Gaia's theory, and I studied in grad school. Simpleton Gaia theory developed by the chemist James Lovelock. Okay, so it's just kind of giving like old prefaces does, you know, how the book has come about, etc. And it talks about the Gaia theory. And then we have the introduction. So we've got the shape of the year, which I've just kind of been through with the contents page. But it's giving you the dates, basically, of what late autumn is. And, you know, if you are a pagan or you're just somebody who follows all of the kind of equinoxes, solstices, cross quarters, and celebrate them as festivals, as sabbats, then you'll know what each one of these kind of links to. A sense of the sacred. Your toolkit. Invite your fear to tea. I love it. But look at this. Look, there's this portal in this beautiful tree. The artwork in this book is stunning. Keeping an altar. Compost the things that you don't need. You know, it's just about, you know, nothing should ever just be really just thrown away or disregarded. Everything has a purpose. One man's trash is another person's treasure. So it's, you know, even wasted food and things can be put to good use, back to the earth. And then working with your wild wisdom cards. So it talks about how you can use your card here. 1 card draws, the 2 card crossing. So that's choosing a card and then selecting a card that crosses it. Waxing and waning, following the moon. And then we go into the almanac here. And the almanac is how, you know, Maia is describing, I'm loving these page edges as well, how Maia is describing each of those kind of segments of the wheel of the year. And the idea with this book is that you open the book to the season that you're in, or the season that you're closest to, because there are parts of the world where, as I say, you don't get the distinct seasons like we're seeing here. So it's time to begin. Open the book to whatever season you're currently in. If you live in a place that does not have distinct seasons, choose the season that corresponds with your current month and hemisphere using the guide on page 13. Use the year ahead to map the natural world around you in its ever-changing phases. This is an especially important thing to do if you live in a place that doesn't have seasons that perfectly align with those in this book. Step into a deep relationship with the land you are on, understanding its flows and cycles, so that you feel part of great Gaia nestling doll. Kin again to the rocks and the trees and the wind. Oh, that is so beautiful. So beautiful. And then we get late autumn and these beautiful words. It's time, says sun, reaching down to kiss earth's brow. Yes, sighs earth. We've spun through a full circle, haven't we? I'm ready for a moment of quiet. Earth smiles, dipping a toe into the slipstream of memory. I love our work. Growth and change are and bounty. The stars are singing. Shall we not have another spin? Sun asks slyly. Sun offers this temptation every year, bouncing a bit, excited for the infinite possibilities of their dance. Earth's heart lifts as Sun's never-ending exuberance, the fiery joy that has buoyed them through the seasons. Just let me catch my breath, Earth says. A mere moment of respite. Earth sighs and settles, letting go of the striving of the seasons past. Sun smiles. It's the same answer every year. So Sun leans in and whispers the words that have become late autumn's mantra. Sweet dreams, rest well. I love it. So here we have the element. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a sip of my coffee. So the element associated with late autumn is water into earth. Oh gosh, I can't wait to start reading this. I know we're getting towards, you know, early winter. So, and then we have the plant medicine. Now I've skipped 2 pages, sorry. We have the energy center, which is the often referred to as the chakra points, which is our third eye. So that's the association with that part of the year. And then there's things you can do here, you know, anoint your third eye. So there's some exercises that you can do, some little tips here about anointing oil, third eye contemplation. Then we go into plant medicine, which is rosemary, how to burn leaves, flowers and resin as incense, which is perfect because that's part of my rituals at Sabbats. You've seen me show the Sabbat celebration kits that I buy from Sons of Asgard in Glastonbury. The animal medicine is turtle and tortoise. The crystal medicine is amber. Look at this, beautiful. So again, when we see an image like this will be one of the oracle cards, which is this beautiful phoenix. And that's the seasonal symbol of which we get 3. So step into the cycle and we get gifts and challenges. So the phoenix, the gift is an opportunity to begin again, right? That rising up. The challenge, knowing when you have come to the end of a cycle and that fear of what's coming next, because the world turns and the wheel of the year is constantly moving. You know, there's that old adage, isn't there, if time waits for no one. And that can bring fear because uncertainty breeds fear. So that's the challenge, you know. When the cycle comes to an end, it's about letting go of that. So when I spoke about the fact that summer was ending and I'd got to go back to school, my fear and everything of what's coming, rather than now as I've got older, I kind of embrace it and go with the flow. And I think that's when we get true peace, is when we embrace change and, you know, move with the cycle, but not just be dragged along by it, but actually embrace it and find the joy and the magic in the wheel of the year. Then we have the descent, and I love this. You can see this kind of descent into this downward cave. Absolutely beautiful. Synchronicity and inner peace is the gift, and the challenge is the inability to let go. And then the third one is the void, and that is rest and potential. You know that little analogy at the beginning, the conversation between the sun and the earth, and those words, rest, sleep well, challenge, despair and depression. And then we go into winter solstice. Pause here. You are deep in the heart of the darkest nights. The world is hushed. The trees are dwelling in their roots, and the earth's small creatures have gone to ground. Turn inward and listen to the stories of your deepest self. Just love the art. Well, that feels quite thick, but that's right. We have the moon here. Excuse me. I'm obviously talking too much. I was about to say that page is really thick. But again, we get this beautiful little tuck here where you can put things in that are associated. You know, I get lots of beautiful letters or cards, and they'll be really nice to put these in and things like that in this book. And it can become almost like a scrapbook, a workbook throughout the year as well. So we've got early winter, which is late December to late January, and that's what we're coming into now. So this is probably where I'm going to start my journey with this book, is early winter. The element is earth. And again, there's things you can do here, some practices. So connect with stillness. Earth is in dirt, beneath our feet, the material being of our bodies, the moon when it's new. Like an animal in winter, burrow down and feel what it's like to be cradled and held. The plant medicine is burdock. The animal is bear, beautiful bear. Fun facts about bears, I like that. Moonstone, I just love moonstone, is the crystal. And then there's talking about the different varieties of moonstone: peach, blue, grey, white, rainbow. And then we have the womb. Respite and shelter, a sense of infinite options. The challenges is feeling confined and closed in, and indecision. Oh, look at this. The dreaming. These are the seasonal symbols. The hearth, look at that. I want to sit in front of that. Comfort, warmth, light, community. The challenge, willingness to nurture and nourish yourself. And then we go into late winter. Everything that slows us down and forces patience, everything that sets us back into the slow circles of nature is a help. Are you ready? The sun asks. So it's this story, and this kind of reminds me of Lunar Moon here, you know, when Luna's going through the wheel of the year, and the people that she meets, the goddesses and gods and animal kin, you know, and the conversations that she's having as she travels through the year. But this is a conversation between the earth and the sun, and I really like that. The element is earth into air. Again, lots of practices, seasonal practice, seasonal exercises. Energy center is the hands. Plant is dandelion, animal is earthworm. And then the crystal is mica. We have the first of the seasonal symbols. We have the seed. The maker, I love that, with the potter's wheel. And the crossroads. The sense of choices and freedom to choose. The challenge is wanting it all and feeling stuck when needing to choose just one. I'm sure we've all been there. And then we go into spring. And I love this. So we've got these quotes from famous people. This one's Maia. I believe in living a poetic life, an artful life. Everything we do, from the way we raise our children to the way we welcome our friends, is part of a large canvas we are creating. Absolutely. Don't you just think this artwork is so stunning? So we go into the spring equinox, the unfurling. Then we'll have the kind of, oh yes, and then we get another little flap here to put things in there. Early spring, the conversation again between the sun and the earth. The element is air. We get the practices and exercises. Energy center is the throat. I need some help with my throat at the minute. We've got some things here like writing and reflection. I like that. Chickweed for plant medicine. The animal medicine is deer. Clear quartz. The wind is the symbol, as well as the door. Look at that. And then the fool. Look at that. So beautiful. We've got this serpent here as the hair sprints overhead. A willingness to try new things, a fearless and carefree attitude, the Fool energy. Reckless, forgetting the greater good and the feelings of those around you. Then we go into late spring. I'm going to go a little bit faster now because you get how the book is made up without me going, spending too long. But air into fire. The solar plexus is our energy center. Daisy for our plant medicine. We get the flower essences here. This is so detailed. Woodpecker for the animal. Agate for crystal medicine. Look at that. So we have our seasonal symbols to work with. Look at that little squirrel. The staircase is beautiful. And it's to gain perspective. Then we have the alchemist, allowing that transformation. And then, because we're going into fire energy now, we're going towards the summer solstice. Oh, I never knew this was here. Paulo Coelho. This is my favorite book ever. I've got every version made, even a Folio Society edition of this book. Before a dream is realized, the soul of the world tests everything that was learned along the way. It does this not because it is evil, but so that we can, in addition to realizing our dreams, master the lessons we've learnt as we've moved towards that dream. That's the point at which most people give up. It's the point at which, as we say in the language of the desert, one dies of thirst just when the palm trees have appeared on the horizon. Ah, yes, it's that, falling at the final hurdle, isn't it? And then comes summer. Pause here and breathe in the light. Revel at a world bursting and bustling, the abundance of evening, the dance of the fireflies. This is the sun's domain, the glorious results of months of striving. Turn outward and drink in what nature has created. Oh, look at this. So then we have the sun, we have our little tuck area, we have early summer, the conversation between the sun and the earth. We're into our fire element. And then we have the crown for our energy center. Practices, exercises. We have our plant medicine, our animal medicine, and our crystal medicine. I am going to have to look at these earlier kits because I think these will make beautiful books as well. I think I want the books rather than just the cards. The seasonal symbols associated with the sun is the star. I mean, the sun is a star. The council, look how beautiful that is. Oh, I've missed one. There we go. And then we have the warrior. Advocate for change. Strength of purpose, persistence and perseverance, inner fortitude. The challenge is believing you are always right, being unwilling to back down or admit when you're wrong. And then we go into late summer. And again, we've got all the dates here for both the northern and southern hemisphere. And this is fire going into water. And we have the energy center for the heart. The plant is apple. The animal medicine is elephant. Look at that elephant. And then we have rose quartz or morganite. Our seasonal symbols is harvest, of course. The witch, one who knows nature. The traveler, I love this image. It's beautiful having these full color page illustrations of the cards that we've got at the back as well. Oh, Roxana Jones, let's balance our inner night and day. Let's use our darkness to become the most magical light. I love that. I'm gonna have to put that in my journal. And then we go into our autumn equinox. the withdrawing. We're starting to withdraw again now, going into hibernation, gathering our nuts. Early autumn. That coat, exclaims Sun. It's stunning on you. We're starting to wrap up. The element is water, because we've gone from fire into water, now into water. And I like that, how you've got the main kind of elements for the main seasons, but the in-between, fire to water, etc. Sacral chakra for our energy center. Willow is plant medicine. Animal medicine is salmon. Obsidian is the crystal. And then our 3 symbols is mermaid. The river, which is just stunning. Flow with fate. The elders. I love the autumnal colours as well. And then we've got begin again. You've come to the end and to the next beginning, because there's never an end. What's this say? This is what you must remember. The ending of one story is just the beginning of the other. So we've come full circle. We've got our thank yous. We've got the energy centers here in the body, which are the chakra points. And then we've got the cards. So new beginnings with card spreads. These are the other books. So let's have a look at the cards. I'll try and do this without tearing. Which is always a challenge, but oh, let's see if that's enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's slide these out and pop the book there for a second. How long is this video so far? Well, not too bad. So let me bring the camera down. Okay, that's a little better. So they're stuck together in 4s, but they're quite easy to pull apart. They just kind of break away if you twist them. So look at the backs are nice. They've got like a metallic copper effect to them, which is really lovely. So we've got the unfurling, the sun, okay, the moon. Oh, look at these. The river, the mermaid, the elders, the phoenix. So these are, oh, it says here, early autumn, early autumn, early autumn. So these are obviously what we call the 3 seasonal symbols. And then we've got, so let's tell you what I'll do. I'll just pull them apart a second and then we'll put them in order. You've seen these images already anyway by looking in the book. So I think what we'll do is I'll just do a kind of a silent with some music, so you can see them clearly and take your time to really have a look at the beautiful images. But I'll put them in order of the seasons. We will start with where we are now. So we'll start with early winter and we'll finish with late autumn. Okay, so enjoy having a look at the images. So firstly, just to say, whilst we've got the 6 cards for each of the 4 seasons broken down into 3 early, 3 late, we also get the 4 cards that are the solstices and equinox. So we have, and it gives you the page reference as well, because this is an oracle deck. Cardstock isn't brilliant, but for what I want to use these for, I'm not going to be shuffling them. They're going to be altarpieces. It says here the unfurling, which is spring equinox. And then we have the summer solstice, which is just beautiful. We have the sun. And then we have the autumn equinox, which is the withdrawing. And then we have the winter solstice, which is the moon. Okay, so that's our 4 kind of main seasons, if you like, the 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes. And now we'll look at each of the seasonal symbols. Okay, so there you have it. So I've decided what I'm going to do on my sacred space is I'm going to have 2 stands. I've got 2 little card stands. Obviously, on the one card stand, this will change 4 times a year, depending on which equinox or solstice we're closest to. This one basically can change, you know, if we think about it, we've got 3 months so per season and 6 cards, so we can change the cards every 2 weeks. So if we're starting with early winter and I start now, you know, I can start with this, 2 weeks time, change it up, 2 weeks later, change it up, and then we're already going into late winter because we'll be in late January by then. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, and then we're into early spring because we'll be in beginning of March, etc, etc. So this side of my sacred space, every 2 weeks I can change the cards, and on this side of the sacred space I have to do everything symmetrically. I know, it's a challenge. I just didn't know if that was in shot, any of that then. I'm hoping it was. I can change this, you know, for every 3 months. So they will change 4 times a year. These will change basically every 2 weeks. So thank you for watching. I think it is an absolutely beautiful book. Let's try to zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. That's better. It's Maia Toll's Wild Wisdom Companion. This is exactly my type of book. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's written beautifully, it's illustrated beautifully, and it's everything I want for a Wheel of the Year book. So thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, look after yourselves. I will be here tomorrow, 4 p.m. No, I've changed my time for Cup of Catch-Up and Cards. 7 p.m. I'll be joined by the beautiful and lovely Deanne from Blue Crescent Tarot. I hope you can join us. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I hope to see you there. Look after yourselves. Go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.